So in section 1.2, we'll be looking at unit pricing. And you actually see that quite often in real life. Every time you walk into a supermarket, anything like that, go to the hardware store, you'd be thinking about unit pricing. Okay? You're thinking about what is the price per one item. And doing these calculations that come up in this section goes back to section 1.1 where you want to know how much do a certain number of items cost. So if I know how much one item costs, then I can figure out how much 6 items cost. And this has some real good real life applications. So when you do go to the supermarket, say there's a certain price for 6 cans of pop and another price for 10 cans of pop, and which one is the better deal, you can figure that out with your unit pricing. So let's look at our first example here. It says Mary purchased 8 fryers for her retailing business at a wholesale price of $825. She wants to sell each fryer to a different customer. What is the unit price for one sink? So that should have been fryer, but anyhow. So she has 8 fryers that she's purchased at $825 each, and she wants to know what is the unit price of one fryer. So we set up what we know. We know that it is $825 for 8 fryers. I want to know how much then is it for one fryer. And we're going to put our unknown as X on the top, and we'll do our cross multiplication the same as last time. So, there's our cross multiplication. I have 8 times X is equal to 825 times 1. Again, the same as before. You know what 825 times 1 is. You don't have to show this. I'm showing it to clarify that I'm doing the numerator here times the denominator here, so it's clear what I'm doing in each step. But when you're going through the math, you don't have to show 825 times 1. So now I have 8 times X is equal to, well, this is 825.
Jen Maybe, contact the office. Jen Maybe, contact the office, please.
Now I need to get rid of the 8 that's with this X, so I have X all by itself. So it's 8 times X. My opposite operation is to divide by 8. So we divide both sides by 8. And I get that X equals $103 and 13 cents. And I know this is dollars. If I look back up here, the units in the numerator here was dollars, and the units here is going to be dollars. So now I know that each fryer costs $103.13.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Video. Sorry. It's all right. It's all right. Sorry. I'll do that. Sorry, I forgot to lock it, that's all.
Thanks, bye.
No problem. All right. Example number 2, woodsman in Boys Town. The Brunswick are selling wood by the cord. One woodsman sells 3 cord for $465, and another one is going to sell 6 cord for $840. Which one is the better price for 1 cord? So again, it's unit pricing. So I'm going to underline the important information. This woodsman is selling it for 3 cord for $465. This one is selling 6 cord for $840. We're going to try to figure out which one is the better price. So let's do the unit price for the first one here. I have $465 for 3 cord. I want to know how much is it for 1 cord. Do our cross multiplication. So 3 times X, I get 3 times X equals, and isolating x here, I need to get rid of the 3. So x equals, it's going to give me 1, 5, 3, so $153 per cord. Now we'll go over here. The second woodsman, he has $840 for 6 cord. And I want to know how much is it for 1 cord. Set up cross multiplication. Six times x equals 840 times 1, which is just 840. We're going to divide both sides by 6.
Phone Dupont, please contact the office. Phone Dupont, please contact the office.
And you get $140 per cord. So the second one is the better price. And what you'll see most times in real life is that the more that you buy something, the smaller the unit price. That's usually the case. So you can have a good idea a lot of the times if you do go to the grocery store that if you buy a larger quantity, it'll be a better unit price. That's the whole idea behind, say, places like Costco. You're buying larger quantities to get a better price. All right, another example here. Perhaps we'll skip over this one for the video. You can work on that yourself and kind of come up with the cost. What I will say here is you have to be careful with the amount per kilogram here, per 1 kilogram. I mean, we've been dealing with whole numbers before. Now we'll have decimals instead. So you're dividing by decimal. You'll have to use your calculator probably for that one. All right, one last one here. And this one is using a little bit of reasoning. So you have to try to figure out what is the best way of purchasing popsicles for the school in this particular question. So it says you are in charge of buying the popsicles for the next school SRC event. You can buy different size packs. And these are the different sizes and their cost. And if you actually worked out the unit price for each one of these, you would see as you buy larger amounts of popsicles, the better the price is. So I want to know what combination gives me the best price. So I need a minimum of 1,120 popsicles. I can't be under that. I can be over it, but I can't be under it. Okay? So the simplest scenario is to just buy 3 packs of 400. That would put me to 1,200 popsicles, and I would have enough to cover all students. So let's look at that scenario. Okay, so 3 boxes of 400. Let's look at that scenario. So if I do that, well, I have to buy 3 times the $48 per box, right? And that will come to a total of $144. So there's one scenario. Another scenario is I could do 2 of these and then 2 of these. You might be thinking, well, I can do that. That's still 1,200. But you have to think to yourself, well, I know that this is a better unit price than this. Right? So why would I buy 2 of these, which is the equivalent to 400, when I could just buy 1 of these? So we don't even have to actually work out the math for that scenario. Right? I know that it's going to be more expensive than doing this. So the only other viable scenario would be do 2 of these, so that it will give you 800. Okay, so we'll do 2 of these. That will give me a total of 800 popsicles. Then I can buy 1 of these. Right, and now that's another 200. So the total here is 1,000. I need 1,120. So I'm lacking 120. So to get 120 more, I would need to buy 6 of these, right? And that would give me my 120 popsicles. So now I've got the total of 1120. So let's do that scenario right here. Okay? So I've got 6 of boxes of 20, so they're $4 each. So 6 times the $4. Then I've got 1 box of the 200, so that's $30. So 1 times $30. And I've got 2 of these boxes that are at $48. So let's do that really quick math. 6 times 4 is going to give me $24. 1 times 30 is going to give me $30. And 2 times 48 is going to give me $96. So we total that up. I've got 24 and 96 gives me 120. 120 plus 30 gives me 150. So this scenario would cost me $150. So the better deal is this one right here. Even though I bought more popsicles than I need, I still spend less money than if I buy this combination that gives me just what I need. So this is one where you're not doing a unit price per se, but you're thinking about the logistics behind a real life problem. That's where we try to go with a lot of these scenarios.